So,
Yes, yeah, I guess my question is, these fines have been accruing since you bought the property. Why now? Why?
I tried to do this years ago. I've sent
No, I guess my
emails.
question is, you never, that I can recall, ever come before council during public comment saying, hey, I'm having this issue with the town manager. I'm having an issue with staff. They're not taking care of these fines. What can you do to help? I don't ever remember getting any formal request to do what we're doing today, so that we didn't get to this point is kind of where why did it continue to go on for 4 years?
So there was another attorney representing White Sand with regards to the foreclosures. I was not involved in that process. I do the corporate work for White Sand. When the more recent hearing came up in front of the magistrate in February to affirm the liens and authorize the filing of a foreclosure is when I got involved, and I started looking at what had gone on. I had a lot of the same questions. Unfortunately, trying to track back several years has been difficult, and we spoke with counsel. We were referred to the litigation counsel, and then the agreement was, at least from my perspective, hey, let me at least see if we can get these mitigated or forgiven, whatever. Don't bother, I'm going to tell you what to do, but don't bother redoing the complaint, because we just simply like to get these things settled with the city. No more, no less. So unfortunately, the going in was bad. The middle part was bad. I'm just trying to pull this out at the end and get this thing fully resolved somehow with this town.
I saw in the packet that there was someone from your firm, my battery died, but there's someone from your firm that sent a letter, I believe it was to you, asking to try to resolve this, but I didn't see a response from anyone. Was there a response to that? It's in the packet. The letter is part of the packet that was sent from your office to Steve, asking to, and there was no response. I believe it was
No response from whom?
from whoever the email was sent to.
I've had several conversations with
Towards the bottom of the packet.
Mr. Waters, who's the litigant from the firm.
I believe this came from your office, Becky.
Yeah, Paul Waters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. I might have just picked up the phone and called him, because I know I've had several conversations with them, so.
Okay, I'm not seeing it in the packet.
Well, it's in there. Otherwise, I didn't make it up.
No, I know, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's at the bottom.
At the bottom of the
From Steve, from Paul Waters to Steve Ramuni,
Yeah. What date
April 16th.
of this year?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, because what happened was we were in front of the magistrate in February. She adjudicated the liens, and then I had subsequent conversations with him, so I didn't respond by email. I just picked up the phone and called him to say, hey, how can we get these things settled? And that's when.
Page 741.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, it says, Steve, attached to the affidavits from the town, which have the dates of compliance and total fine amounts, because he had requested that. Please let me know if you're willing to propose a reasonable settlement amount for the town to consider. Otherwise, we must continue with the foreclosure litigation. And honestly, we weren't asking for $15,000. To me, it doesn't strike me as a reasonable settlement. But I think that he did come here and he got on the agenda, and I think that was the response. I mean, I'm not faulting them at all for.
Nothing in there that I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't.
No.
I didn't ignore Mr.
No,
Waters.
I didn't
he
mean
did
to.
not.
Oh, okay.
That wasn't my. That wasn't.
To
what
me,
I was-
I'm not the best typer, so I rather just pick up the phone and
I
talk
can
to
relate.
somebody, and that's what I did. In fact, he gave me a cell phone, and I spoke to him on the cell phone. And then he said, well, because the discussion was, well, we can make an offer, but then we still have to go in front of the town council. And then we started talking about the procedure and the code, and I just jumped on that to get it in front of you as soon as possible. So
Is there any? Go ahead. You look like you're going to say something.
Oh, I was just going to say that from the information we were able to glean from looking at the minutes, there really wasn't anything before the town council with regard to 65,000. It was just 50,000 to release this one piece of property, which wasn't even the property in violation. So I'm pretty confused about where the 65,000 came from. And if in fact that was the deal, there was a written, obviously they knew back then how to properly release liens, because there is a proper, appropriately signed and recorded release for the 50,000. So if there was another 15,000 that was supposed to be paid or was paid or whatever, there would have been, a release. And it would have come back to the town council, because it's under Florida case law, it is the town council that makes the decision as to whether a lien is released or not.